your choice is all up to you. Too many things, don't know what to do. Speak your mind and you won't get judged. If it kicks off, you won't hold no grudges. What? Come online, come online. CSI, CSI. Come online. CSI, CSI. Yeah, your choice is all up to you. Too many things, don't know.
Hello, my name is Lucia. Welcome to Common Society Issues. Today we have our guest, RUBINA Patterson, and we'll talk about the life after foster care system. RUBINA, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, could you tell our guests who is RUBINA?
Yes, so I'm RUBINA Patterson. My background is in finance with fund accounting and fund securities, but my passion is personal development, especially helping those coming through the foster care system.
Okay, so how did you come about becoming an accountant? Not only an accountant, you are deep and involved and specified in the funds and security.
Yes, so it was just coming through college. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but then I had an opportunity to study the Association of Accounting Technicians and various other fund accounting qualifications, and I found that I was quite good at that. So that's when I went into the finance world as part of my employment. That's how I got into it.
Okay, what's the difference between an ordinary accountant and a fund security accountant?
So a fund and security accountant, I was involved with valuations, pricing and valuations. So pricing and valuations means that you are actually pricing the stock on the stock exchange. So when you see different stocks being listed in, for example, the Financial Times, somebody has to work out the value of that stock that you might decide to invest in or buy as a stock item. Then you have funds, which means it's a collection of different stocks within one fund, and then you get a unit price for all those stocks put together. So you're pretty much reducing the risk. Okay. So with other accountants, you're involved with the standard practice for fund and management accounting.
And setting up,
that's
and
right.
Finalizing the end of the month.
End of year reports, end of month reports,
yes,
management accounting.
Okay.
So there's a difference.
Okay, that must be a very busy, side of accountancy.
Very busy, very pressurised, because they're very tight deadlines. If you miss a deadline, immediately it goes right up to the top, to the director level. So you're working on time frames, and everybody knows that there's certain checks that have to go in for compliance purposes, and then you have to get those prices out on time. So I've did that for many years, and I enjoyed it. It's quite pressurised, but we had a lot of fun.
Okay, so mistakes cannot be acceptable?
No, because it's costly.
Very good, okay. So you're also a coach?
Yes, that's my passion. So when you have an employment and you're grateful for your employment, you still have a passion for other things.
Yes, yeah.
My passion is always in personal development, for myself in particular, but then as it's grown, I'm encouraged and I'd like to help other people believe in themselves and have their own growth in their own journey. And I've been told that I'm quite good at that and I can help people, so it's grown from there really. Okay. And I feel very comfortable in that space.
Okay, wonderful. So you're also a public speaker, or are you just concentrate in the coaching aspect of self-development?
I like to mix both. So as I develop myself, I like to share and explain and help other people who maybe have doubts, self-doubts in themselves. So because I've managed to get through that and grow, I'm growing all the time, so I'm always learning. But this is something that we can all do, and I just like to encourage people, especially if they've come through a particular experience in their lives, but we all could do with improving every day, because if we're not growing, we're deteriorating. Okay. So there's always something we can grow better at.
Okay, tell me, what in your life in particular did you have to overcome to aspire you to become a coach?
So that's such a good question. So it just generally goes back to how you grow up and your mindset. So we grow up with an image of ourselves, we call the self-image, and then there's another image of what people see when they look at us.
Okay.
So we can never outgrow our self-image. So if we believe we're a certain way, we will never surpass that unless we change the way that we think. So for me, my self-worth growing up was very low. I didn't have much self-worth and belief in myself. It just took somebody to have more belief in me than I had in myself, and then I grew from there.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. How are we equalizing foster care and RUBINA?
So you are what you think you are. Whatever we think about is what we become.
Okay.
So if you're growing up from birth as I was in an institution, along with other children, not in the family framework, you believe this is what you are as a person. You believe that you're not wanted. You believe that there's a reason. I must have done something. I blame myself. I must have done something to have been put in an institution as a baby. Okay. So that's what equates with me. Until you learn to think differently with help, then you understand that each and every one of us has got something special to offer the world.
Okay, I see. So foster care system normally occurs when a child is in danger within the family. Was that in your case, or how did you, found yourself in foster care?
So that's an interesting question because I never really found out. So there's all different stories I was told. I don't know if any of them were true. All I know was that my mother was pregnant and that the baby wasn't wanted.
Okay.
So that's why she gave the baby up. Now, there was all sorts of things happening within the home, so I've been told, and I was the one that got put into that institution, whereas the other children were at home. I was the one that was put into the institution from birth.
Okay. Is that because you were the youngest, or you don't have much information about it?
I haven't got much information about that.
Okay.
I know I have younger siblings, so there must have been a deeper reason why it was me that got put into the children's home, into the institution. And no matter how much I tried, I don't really understand, or I didn't really know what really happened.
Okay, I suppose you will not understand until you actually get the right reason of what happened, and that would be ultimately, getting to speak with your birth mother. Do you ever feel the need of getting to know her?
Yes, as you grow up, you do want to understand more about the family and more about where I've come from. So there was opportunity when I was in the children's home, as I was maybe 12, 13, where she wanted to come to see me. So I didn't really want that to happen because I thought, well, if you want to give me up, why should you come and see me now? Okay. I've never heard from you all these years. Why do you want to come and see me now? Okay. So she did come. She did come to see me, but I ran away. I didn't want to talk to her.
You were not available at that time emotionally.
Emotionally.
Okay.
It has a huge impact.
Yeah.
So this is why it's important that those of us who go through this process, we understand that none of that is our fault. We have to understand that we're worth something. But it's very, very difficult to learn that if you haven't got any support. Yes. And this is why, more than any children, these are the children that have to be looked after. And it's a reflection on society when they're not being looked after. Okay. It's so important that that's addressed. Okay.
In the norm, in the society, as a newborn baby or young child, they normally put it into adoption, not in foster care. Was there any specific reason that that you were told that you went to foster care, or is it just the fact that assuming that your mother decide foster care, I'll be able to get my child back at some stage, when I'm in a better emotional or social situation, because adoption, you are actually giving up the child.
Yeah, that's a great point to make. So that is something that I never had answered. All I knew was that from the age of around about 4 or 5, a family wanted me, a white family wanted me for some reason. Okay. And so I was sent to them as a foster child. I wasn't told why I wasn't adopted, because I know they did have another child who they fostered and was subsequently adopted. Okay. So with me, I was put back into the children's home after a few years. So I was still quite young, maybe 8 or 9. I was put back into the institution. Okay. So you can imagine the mindset of a child who thought they belonged to a family, which was a bit odd because they were a different colour from me. I was in that foster care for a few years, and then it must have been something I've done because now I'm back. I'm back in the institution.
Wow, I'm actually surprised that you said this because it's something that you believe
you
it's
feel,
something.
Yes, of course.
But as a child, I suppose that is the logical mindset.
Yes.
But do you understand that foster families, they do that to a period of time? It's not actually a lengthy, process that they have to go through. It is caring for a child as their own, but for a specific time. Do you understand that now?
I understand that now, but that has to be explained.
Okay.
Not just one day suddenly, oh, we're taking you back.
Okay.
When you're a child, you're impressionable. You feel, oh, somebody wants me. You're happy with that. So when you get sent back, you feel this family situation is temporary.
Mm-hmm.
This must be how it is. People come to the children's home to work. You get attached to those people, and then they leave. So all throughout the process, people are just coming and going all your life.
Okay. So emotions are always, erupt this,
Absolutely. And so where is your self-worth? Where is your self-belief?
Okay.
I can't be worth much. This is how you grow up. This is why people need to understand that. If you're going through foster care, what is the motive of the foster parent? Are the foster parents, do they only want a temporary relationship with that child? Or maybe when the child's older, they just need someone who temporarily looks after them. Family shouldn't be temporary.
True.
There's such an impact on a person's self-image and self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that a person does as they are looking after a child, there's an impact.
True, it is, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But as well, you said that it should be explained.
It should be explained.
Do you believe as a child you are able to understand when somebody's saying to you, you go into a family for a couple of years and then you're going to come back here if we don't find somebody to adopt you? Do you think a child would understand that? Would you have understood?
I don't think I would have understood, but children are very resilient. They can adapt quite well.
Mm-hmm.
So if it came from somebody that really cared about them, then they would understand. But if it isn't explained, then it's quite traumatic. So communication is absolutely crucial.
It's vital. Indeed,
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It has to be explained.
Okay.
And that the time has to be invested in that person. Because we're actually looking after someone who will eventually grow up and they will go into the society and they will feel that they're not important.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen that for myself. I've seen people who feel they're not worthy of anything. They're not worthy of love. They grow up without loving themselves. You have to understand that, and to learn how to love yourself is so important.
I see. Yes,
And that's how you grow up. You don't have that love for yourself. You don't feel that you're worthy of love. So this is really important.
Yes, yeah. Let's just go back a little bit. Do you remember how was life in the institute as a child before being allocated to to the family?
A little bit, not a lot, but I was quite young.
Okay.
So I've got a picture of me, my favourite toy. I just children, they just get on with it.
Okay.
The impact came from when I was out into a family, and then I came back.
Okay. Do you believe, but what you can remember, going into the family, that you were a troubled child?
I felt I was a troubled child. I would never have had to go back. There must have been something I've done.
Okay. So this is something that you explain to yourself to trying to release the emotional, breakage,
Yes.
of being rejected?
Yes.
Or is it something that you know that you were a troubled child?
You believe you are a troubled child because you've been rejected. There must have been something I've done.
Were you a troubled child?
I would say I was.
Okay.
But the fortunate thing is I experienced love to an extent when I was younger. And I think that's what helped me survive the process.
Okay.
Because they were genuinely wanted to look after me. So it's definitely went in somewhere.
Okay.
Because I've grown up with a lot of love in my heart. Maybe not for myself as such, but to a degree. And it's only as time goes on that you develop that self-love with help. But there's a lot of people who grow up without that self-love. They don't really understand what's happened.
Okay.
And so who's helping them?
Okay. Let's look
That's
into
the
that in a
question.
little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
So when you went to this family,
Yeah.
not this family, to the family that they opened their arms to, to
Yes.
have you in their home.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for a small period of time.
Yes.
But they were a Caucasian family, they're a
Yeah.
white family.
Yeah.
And you were a black child.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it?
It was really strange. I thought maybe later on I would turn white. That's how I grew up.
Interesting.
I didn't learn anything about my heritage, about black people, about how we
Yes, yeah.
moisturise, how we do our hair. I didn't learn any of that. So I had to teach myself how to be black as I grew up in the children's home.
Okay.
And I took it upon myself to learn. So there's a lot of people with identity issues, self-image issues, because they don't, first of all, they're not wanted. And then they might go to a family of a different colour, which is honourable. But the people that foster children from a different ethnicity, they have to take on board that this individual has to know about their ethnicity, so they can go out into the world confident in that. If they don't know, they need to try and learn.
Do you think that's something that should be stated while they are actually, in their job description? Because not being called, but they are doing a job. Foster parent, they are there.
It's a responsibility.
Temporarily to give love to children that they need. So do you think that should have been one of the requirements as they are willing to foster?
I would definitely say it helps. I know people say we don't notice colour, but it goes deeper than that. The child has to understand who they are. They have to understand the truth about who they are.
Okay.
Not just that they're loved, which is huge. They have to understand their ethnicity, because they haven't got a family to tell them where they're from.
Okay.
So whose responsibility is that? It has to be from the people who are actually looking after that child. It's so important.
Okay. For the 4 years that you were there, living with, with this family that, were able, to take you in.
Yeah.
How did you feel? Did you at once rejected your blackness, or, you constantly just felt, I am black and I'm different, I don't belong here?
Well, you're just grateful. You just feel that you belong somewhere. So, as people say, children don't actually notice colour as much. But as you get a little bit older, you do notice it. You get called names. I got called names and things like that. I was in a white area. So I got called names, and I started asking questions. Will I start turning white eventually? How does this all work? Unless people understand about ethnicity and about our culture as black people, how they haven't taken it upon themselves to understand and help a child from a different background. That has a huge impact.
Okay, so did you reject being black? Did you hate it being black?
I wouldn't say I hated being black. I just didn't understand.
You didn't
I didn't
understand
why I was different. Why
different.
am I different from everyone else?
Okay, and the family that you were in, at any point, do you think that they made an effort to bring your culture or your ethnicity, to life?
I think not really. I think that for them as a white family, it was about we don't notice colour. It doesn't, because they wouldn't have taken me in otherwise. With open arms, they don't recognise, they don't notice any difference. You're no different from any of us.
Okay,
but I am different.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's your responsibility to make me proud of that and help me understand. You see, so I know the process for fostering and adoption is quite involved, but this should definitely be included. For the sake of the child, it's so important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you feel loved?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Until I went back.
I was just about to ask you that. Yes, yeah.
I did feel loved.
Yes,
yeah, because they did love me. I know they did. I'm still in touch with them.
Okay.
So definitely,
Okay.
I regard them as my family.
You said that you're still in touch with them.
Yes.
Did you ever ask me, why did you send me back?
Yes, I did, and nobody seemed to know. My other siblings, there was other children there, my white brothers and sisters. They would say this was one of the worst moments that they experienced for me to go back.
Okay.
So not long after I went back, the foster father, he died, and I was told he died of cancer. So I don't know if it's because he was ill. I never found out.
Okay.
I never found out why. It was just a difficult decision.
Did you not ask your foster mother, why did you send me back?
Yeah, I did ask, but I never really got an answer.
Okay.
So I just accepted I'm not going to get an answer. Okay. It's something that's I could never understand.
I see. Okay, so going back to the system, how did you feel? Did you feel like a child that had been given an ice cream and then immediately dropped on the floor and you're back with nothing again in your hands?
Awful experience. Suddenly you're back in an institution, you're a little bit more wary of people, and you've just got these people, so, you put almost in a dormitory. It's a huge impact.
Okay.
A huge impact.
Can you explain us how is the you know, you're talking about dormitory. How was the space that you had to live in? Did you have to share the room? You know, was
Yeah.
there many children in the room? If you had to share, like, how was the, you know, the livelihood in there?
Yeah, so you've come from a family where you feel loved, and you're back with all these strangers.
Okay.
Everybody's a stranger. All the
Okay.
children are strange, you know, as far as you're concerned. Where am I? You know, wake up is a nightmare.
So you didn't go back to the same institute that you were taken from?
No, it was a different place. It was the
Okay.
same organisation, but it was a different place. I was a bit older.
Okay, is that because of age? That's why you were sent back?
I don't really know.
Okay.
But yes, so they took me back to a different place.
And when they sent you back, what was it done to help you emotionally rehabilitate and accept the new reality?
I can't remember that support emotionally.
Okay.
I can't remember that. I just remember that people were crying. The family I was with, you know, they were all crying. I didn't really understand what was going on.
Back, you know, in the institute, did you ever have to go to a room, you know, talking to somebody and talking about, you know, how do you feel?
I can't remember all the details.
You
I was
can't
quite
really
quite
remember.
young, you know,
Okay.
about 7 or 8. I can't remember.
Okay.
I just remember the trauma. I just remember that it wasn't where I wanted to be,
Okay.
and why am I here?
How is
you
that
know.
trauma in you at this moment?
I've learned so much because I've learned about myself. I've learned how to love myself. I know I'm just as good as everybody else. And this is what the children need. This is what the children need. They need to understand that they're just as valuable as everybody else. It doesn't matter what's happened. It doesn't matter if you're in an institution or you're not. You are just as valuable as everybody else walking the street.
That is accepting of which is the end part of the trauma. I'm
Yes.
asking you, recognizing it.
Yes.
How is that trauma within you?
So within me, you grow up feeling that you still grow up. I still grew up feeling that I'm not really worth much. All the time, it's constantly there. You feel beneath everybody else,
Okay.
and you carry this around with you all your life
Okay.
until somebody shows a belief in you. When somebody shows an interest and a belief in you, that they think you're capable of certain things, that's when things start to change.
Okay.
But you still grow up with it. You grow up with this. It's almost like a stigma. You know, that you've grown up in an institution.
It's a shadow.
I was foster.
It's
Yes,
a shadow.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. As a teenager, how did you how was the life? Can you remember anything of it?
I was very fortunate because I got involved with sports.
Okay.
Because somebody actually believed in me. They noticed I was good at something.
What sports were you involved?
Anything. Athletics, cricket. I got picked for Essex cricket. You know, basketball. I got picked nationally for the team because I put all my energies into that.
Okay. And you felt that's where you were releasing your emotions, or it was just something that you wanted to show that I'm worth?
Yeah. So you have a purpose. You have a purpose in your life. You know, I was always quite a happy person anyway, and so that got me through a lot of pain.
Okay.
Just having fun, enjoying life. But deep down, you always got these image problems. You've always got a self-image problem.
Okay.
You know, as far as you're concerned, everyone else is from a family except for me. So I grew up with that. But then as soon as a teacher or somebody shows a bit of interest in the fact that you're good at something, that was it for me. I was all in for that. So you pour all your energy into that. I was training night and day, reading, studying it, you know, and that's what I achieved.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Who was the first person to put an eye on your talent?
My PE teacher at school.
Your PE teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we was doing sports, we was doing running, and you know, I've always loved running around. And she noticed that I've got this ability, so she kept putting me in for more and more different trials during school. And because I could focus on that, then I was away from the troubles that other children were getting involved with. You know, running around and knocking on people's houses and getting involved in gangs. You know, I did for a while.
Okay.
But then my attention went straight to somebody actually believes in me, so that's what I want to do. And as I got better and better, people started showing more interest and respect.
Okay. So you said that you went for the national team.
Yes.
Okay. At what stage in your life did that happen? How old were you?
Around about 15
years old. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're still quite fresh as a teenager.
Still in the children's home.
Okay. You were still in the children's home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still there.
And you were doing this?
So when I actually went for the trials, because of the PE teacher, not anyone that was supporting me back in the home, I went for the trials and I was progressing through the county trials, through the regional trials, South East England, through to the national trials, and I got picked. And I went back, nobody believed me. I'm in the team, nobody believed me.
Okay.
And then I started believing maybe I wasn't picked. Because the people I just accepted it, maybe I wasn't
really
good enough.
picked.
Until the letter came. Then the letter came.
So
and
there
then
was a proof.
There's the proof.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you feel not accepted or not acknowledged while you were in the institute?
Oh, for sure. Even for the rare occasion somebody does well, it wasn't really looked at.
No praise.
Not really, no. And for the people to say we don't think you were picked. I mean, what kind of a knockback is that?
They actually voice it.
Yeah. Are you sure? And then, of course, all the doubts.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm in here. Maybe I made a mistake.
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
So,
but you did it.
Yeah, that's huge. Sports can play a
Yes,
huge part in a child's life. And not everyone wants to get involved in sports. It could be anything that they're good at, they feel, that resonates with them.
Okay.
Find something. This is why we owe them a responsibility to encourage them. If they're showing interest in something, just encourage them.
Okay.
Because if we don't encourage them, if they don't feel they have a self-worth, anything can happen.
Wow.
Where's the support? So society, they say, I know there's an old African proverb that says it takes a village
To raise a child.
to raise a child. Well, a village can destroy a child. A village can destroy a child. So we have to make that child feel valued. And this is where the problem is.
Okay.
Where is the net? Where's the safety net? Where's the care for the children?
Where's the support
Where are the
system?
clubs they can go to? Where are the people they can speak to? So these are the people who are going to be growing up as adults and having responsibilities.
Okay.
And they're going to have children themselves. Are they going to pass on these lack of self-worth to their own children? It's a huge responsibility for the village. The village is the arrangement that these children need to have to move from the children's home out of 15, 16 to get into the society. Are they going to go to university? Was it ever encouraged? Are they going to go to college? Are they going to get apprenticeships? Where is that link?
I see. Okay.
It's so important.
A lot of breaking down roads there, for you to climb, is it?
Absolutely. I was so fortunate to get involved with sports.
Okay.
I know people that didn't get involved in sports. They got involved with drugs
Wow.
on the streets. Some of them aren't alive today. So, we need to let people, especially children coming through this system, we need to help them understand that they are just as valuable as everybody else. So when I hear about people achieving, they've come through the foster care system, that is a huge achievement, absolutely huge.
Wow. That is definitely something worthwhile celebrating.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you believe that the stigma is still there, like, children coming from foster care system?
Yes.
Do you still think that the society has a stigma attached to them?
Maybe not so much now, but the stigma is probably within that person.
Okay.
You see.
So you're carrying your own stigma because
you carry
were
it
labelled.
with you. You carry it with you.
Okay.
But it's up to you to develop yourself
Okay.
with help, maybe from other people who can mentor you or just help you understand the way you're thinking. People don't think this way, that the way we think is actually been adopted. We've all been adopted in some shape or form because the thoughts you grow up with are the thoughts that were around you as you were growing up.
The environment.
And the environment and the opinions that you hear, they go into your subconscious mind and you grow up thinking that those thoughts are yours. But your thoughts are coming from people who are writing a program within you.
that has shaped you
Shaped
to
you.
believe that.
And where did they get their programming from? It's handed down.
Okay. It's
it's
a learning process.
It's a learning process. We have to ask ourselves, why am I thinking this way? You should be doing this. You should. Why do I feel I should be doing something else? If it doesn't resonate with me, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay. Why do you think, it is such a lack of understanding in the actual system that is running,
Yes.
foster, the foster care?
Yeah.
Why do you think there's such a lack in understanding the importance and the need of a child to feel accepted, to feel cared for, in the sense that they're feeling equal. They feel their self-worth, worthwhile, showcasing.
It takes a village to bring up a child. If the village isn't there, The child is bringing up themselves. The village can be a family, it can be the community, it can be the institution. There has to be a framework. If a family is going through difficulties, do they say to their children, you're going to have to leave because we can't deal with these problems. Both of you can go. That isn't how families work. So if you feel that you have been left behind, why are people feeling that way? It's because there's no setup, there's no funding, there's no leaders, there's no people who are taking these children on board. When you're 15, 16, you get thrown out with no hope. We need mentors, we need funding, we need places where children can go. We need to help them with their mindset. We need to bring out what's within them, because there's greatness within every single person.
That's true. You said that that's not how family system work, but you know, also I wonder, do you quite understand that in a family setup, you know, parents have no way even of thinking that I need to send you away for a while. You know, foster care, because it's a period of time that they are taking the children, they have that availability into them. Adoption, they don't have that either.
Yes.
Okay. So where you were, it was in a quite limbo position within the society.
Yes.
You know, to feel a belonging within the family system.
Yes.
Okay. So, you know, my question again, why do you think the actual system has not yet caught on in making sure that these children that are there are feeling, they need to feel accepted, they need their self-esteem, you know, just develop just as much as any other children around?
Because there's no safety net. There's no safety net. You try jumping off a cliff with no safety net, without a rope. Where are you going to end up?
Okay.
You don't know where you're going to. There's no safety net. So if a person is coming through the foster care system, that means, as you've quite clearly said, it's a temporary setup. But some foster carers, they're in the life of that child for much longer. They choose to do that. Maybe it leads to adoption.
Choice, yes, yeah.
But they're not. It doesn't always happen that way.
Okay.
There's a lot of children who have temporary guardians. Temporary guardian. Even that in itself, I feel, is heartbreaking.
Okay. But isn't that because the traditional situation is because a child is removed from a dangerous situation and brought into it?
Yes.
And the danger situation where it's either both parents or a parent.
Yes.
It needs rehabilitation.
Yes.
And then the child is brought back to the family.
Yeah, yeah. So that whole process, it goes much deeper, doesn't it? So the initial setup for that child, as you said, some of them are coming from vulnerable families. Where's the help for the vulnerable family?
Okay.
It goes deeper than that. Of course, the child is a vulnerable person, but then that has to be investigated.
Okay.
This could be a generational thing. As I said, the thoughts that we have come from somebody else before us and somebody else before us. It could be a generational thing.
Okay. So the children leave the system at the age of 15, 16 or 18?
Yes, for me it was 15.
Okay.
I think it's around about 15, 16 now.
Okay. Is that your choice?
No, it's not a choice
of a child? Or is it the system saying, you know, doors are open, go to the real world?
Yeah.
Okay. And what provision do they give it to you as you're living?
It depends. So I was fortunate enough to go and live with a teacher who offered, because they knew what was coming.
Okay.
But then you might get a little bit of money, and they might find you a room somewhere to get a bit of furniture, and then that's you.
Okay, wow. You start your independence at 15, 16 years old.
Oh yeah, definitely. So this is where the network can work much better. This is where the support can come.
Okay.
This is the stage where it could be make or break for that person.
Do you have a social worker once you leave the system?
You have a connection, you have a contact, but they not maybe once a month or something like that. Not always.
It's not a weekly or
not
daily,
always.
Contact.
No, not always.
Okay. So you still feel abandoned, really?
Absolutely, you do. You do.
Okay.
So this is why I just feel so strongly about this, because this is where the person can go on a spiral downhill. Even if somebody just believes in that person, it makes all the difference. If I didn't have someone that believed in me, I might not even be here right now.
True. You tried the gangs.
Could be. A family. I belong. You know, so what we need to do is really look not only at the child who maybe have an issue, but look at the whole family setup. How can we support these families? If it's an investment problem, then surely there's going to be more money spent if we don't help people.
True.
So let's look at it. Let's have somebody specifically for these families, specifically for the children. Let's build a network around. Let's build a safety net around them, and they will be fantastic for the environment, for the whole foster care environment.
Okay, Robina, if you had the magic wand, how would you better or how would you perfect this system and how, you know, going forward?
So there's two ways. You have to invest in the person to grow their self-belief, but grow their self-image first and foremost. We're carrying a huge stigma with us. Give them a mentor, give them some support, give them somewhere to live, give them a place where they can belong. If I had money myself, I would definitely build housing for them, because an independence. Give them somewhere where they can feel strong and independent. Give them the support of a person to connect with, who believes more in them than they believe in themselves. And from them, give them a plan. Give them some options to make the most of their lives. We've all got interests. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe some people want to go to university. Are they being helped? Nobody ever spoke about university to me. Okay. Give them options. Give them opportunities. And give them a network of people that can help them.
Fantastic.
That's what we need.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much, Robina.
Thank
is there anything that you would like to tell our viewers? And is anything that you know, maybe how they can contact you and wanted to find more about your story, you know, or is it maybe social medias? How can our viewers, you know, get in touch with you?
So I've set up a group called Aspirational Mindset Coaching. That's a Facebook group. You can find that very easily. You can find me on LinkedIn, Rubina Patterson, just my name. And you can email me at rubina@aspirationalmindset.com. So I'm building a website. In my Facebook group, I bring in people who have challenges. I was just speaking to someone the other day who was living in a car for a few weeks before he had an opportunity to change his life. So it's about being aspirational. And the reason I've chosen aspirational mindset is because it's coming from within.
Bringing hope.
Bringing hope. But it has to come from yourself, from within you, once you've managed to grow that. So motivational is very good, but it's coming from the outside. It's extrinsic. Aspiration comes from within. So let's help you grow your aspirations. And this is for everybody. Just reach out to me. Everybody has got potential. We don't even reach anywhere near the potential that we have. But you must grow your self-belief. And we need to grow the community to grow and encourage the young people who are our future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was a
so
pleasure
much.
having you.
I love the questions you asked. It's so deep.
Okay.
It's really got me thinking. So I'm so grateful to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for you that you've been watching. Thank you for spending the time and following the story of Robina. If this story has affected you, or you have an equal or an inspirational story that you would like to share, please contact us at Common Society Issues. Visit also our website, which is commonsocietyissue.com. Thank you for watching. This was CSI. My name is Lucia.
Hi, I'm Helen.
Hey, I'm Candy.
Hi, I'm Michael.
Hi, I'm Ivy.
And this is Lucia.
Thank you for watching CSI.
Make sure to subscribe to CSI Common Society Issues.
And remember to hit that notification bell.
Thank you.